Hello, my name is Kristen Klein. I'm going to get a picture of myself up here so that you can see. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to be using the Explain Everything app. That's me right there. I'm going to be using the Explain Everything app to create my, here we go, Week 10 SAR. Okay. Through this presentation, I'm going to share some of the strategies I learned in this 10-week class. Some of the strategies that I'm really excited about, some of the strategies that I think could be a little challenging, how I'm going to approach those challenges, and I'm going to also share some helpful resources that I think educators would like to use when they are working with ESL students as well. Okay. One of the things I'm really excited about in this upcoming school year is really refining my approach to vocabulary. Again, I'm an English teacher. I teach 8th grade mainstream English, and vocabulary to me is really, really crucial in order to assist reading comprehension and to better and more effectively communicate your point. It says here that a rich, multifaceted approach to vocab instruction works best, and I would like to really inculcate my class with this. I really like the way that Paraguay and Boyle calls this pervasive vocab approach word consciousness, and I would really like to, and I'm really excited to implement this in my classroom. Some things that I would like to do in my classroom really are situated around the idea of explicit teaching. Even looking on our 8th grade Common Core standards, Latin roots, knowledge of Latin roots are really important, and so that really meshes well with the idea of explicit teaching and really looking at word parts. So for example, if my students and I came across the word pseudonym, and this is a tough word. I mean, looking at the P and the S, even that, the phonemes of that would be even hard to try to break down. But if I were to show them how we could break this down in terms of Latin roots, pseudo means false, right? And nym means name. And then we could even think about all the other words that have these roots in them, and immediately we could think of synonym, right? And syn means same, so same name. We could think of homonym or antonym, right? And we talk about ANT meaning against. So it's a word that is against another word. I think really explicitly talking about the parts of language could help vocab acquisition for many of my students. Another strategy I'm really excited to use is that of the word walls, and particularly the word wall dictionaries. I like that this gives students a visual opportunity to be reminded of the vocab and to be able to review it regularly throughout their course year. I've included also this Reading Rockets website here. I really like what this has to offer in terms of word walls, and it goes into a little more explanation than Paraguay and Boyle did on page 239 of their text. Within this website here, I like that it was suggested to color code the words using colored markers for lettering, colored paper for mounting, and then this color coding can be used in numerous ways, such as highlighting homonyms, synonyms, parts of speech, frequently misspelled words, or categories. So again, visually categorizing the words for students too, so that they can activate that schema. It's easier for them to be able to store the words and then hopefully later on retrieve the words. Here are 2 more vocabulary techniques I learned throughout this class and I'm really excited to implement in this upcoming school year. The first one is the concept sort. We watched this as Amber Prentice demonstrated how she used concept sort with her ENL students. This is a wonderful way, I think, to activate students' schema and to help students organize new vocabulary. I think that manipulatives are always beneficial for all students to allow them to physically interact with the material. So, for example, if I were to do a concept sort of some of the vocabulary that I introduced to the students in our first reading, it's "And Summer is Gone," I would give my ENL students 6 words. I would give them agile, mocking, satirical, linky, irate, and lithe. I would put my students into groups and I would have them do a concept sort, breaking up these 6 words into 2 categories. First category would be how characters can move. So again, very similar to Amber Prentice in her video clip. And another way of organizing the vocabulary would be how they act. So moving and acting, and then with these 6 words, they would have to figure out into which category these words must go. The second vocab technique that I am excited to use is from Katie Kurjakovic's article, Vocabulary Instruction for English Language Learners. I know that many of us in the class commented on the efficacy of sentence stems. I really did like how this worked to minimize any errors students had when trying to implement new vocabulary. This should hopefully scaffold students' understanding of the usage of the new vocab word, and it should hopefully encourage correct implementation of the word in meaningful sentences. So again, looking at the batch of vocabulary I like to give students from our very first short story, I would do a sentence stem for the word curb. So I would give them a sentence starter. Although I was angry, I knew I had to curb my temper at dinner because, and then students would have to come up with the correct contextual usage of the word curb. So we would also highlight, underline that, bold italicize, okay. I would think also if I were to do prestigious, I would say, I want to attend a prestigious university because, again, sentence starters such as these should hopefully get the students to better understand how to use the word and what context the word is used. This is yet another really great vocab strategy I hope to bring into my class this year.